Okay, we left out one minor detail here. If you know about regular expressions, you know that we can capture the text in groups. Now, this isn't a detailed explanation of regular expressions, but let's just look at how that would work here. So let's go back to our regular expression. And let's say that we wanted to do something with this word table cleaner, and we wanted to capture each part of this separately. So we want to capture the table part, and we want to capture the cleaner part. So what we can do is we can put parentheses around these, and these will represent groups that we can capture. So the first one would be the first group, and then the second one would be the second group. Now, one thing that's important to see is that our basic code is going to work the same as it did before. So let's run this. And we found the whole string. We found the whole word table cleaner, but we may want to do something with those captured groups. And our function at this point doesn't do anything with that. So let's figure out a good way to do that, and I'll show you what happens. So you remember when we got the regular expression matches, the zero member of the match was the whole match. So match zero is the whole string. It's table cleaner. But when we have captured groups, we can actually, those increment by one. So let's just display these. Alert match 1. That's going to give us our first captured group, and this will give us our second one. And so the thing that makes it nice about this is we can count from left to right. And the way you count these is you count your parentheses. And so your first open parentheses, whatever's in there, is going to give you the first group. Your second open parenthesis, whatever's in there is going to get you your second group. So let's save the changes, and what we'll do so we don't get so many matches, we'll just run it on this paragraph here. So notice that we displayed the first member of that match. Actually, it's the second member. It's the 1. It's the index 1. And that gives us the word table. And then when we click OK, we've got the second one, which is cleaner. And that obviously gives us the whole match. So what we need to do is we need to modify this function because we want to capture those. Now we may use them, we may not use them, but we want to be able to capture them just in case we need them. So let's go back to our function. And what we can do here is we'll create a new member of this object, and we'll call it submatches. And what we'll do is we will call an inner function to grab that. So let's do match obj submatches equals, and then we'll call a function get submatches. And what are we going to pass in? We are going to pass in the match variable. So we're passing this in here because this will give them to us. Now where are we going to put this? We could put this outside, but because it's only dependent on this outer function, in other words, we only need it in here. We don't need it outside. So we'll actually put it inside this function. So we'll have a function inside of a function. And we'll call this, let's see, get submatches. That'll work. Submatches. And we'll grab the match object that we passed in. And this will be a loop. We'll do a loop here. So we will... and actually, do we have a count? No, we don't have a count. So we'll do a count variable, and we'll do an I variable. So we'll do another loop. So our count is going to be the match length. Let's see, check that. Is that what we need? Yeah, match length. Okay, let's try it. We'll see if it works. And then we're going to say for I equals 1. Now we want to start with 1 because 0 remembers the whole match. So match 0 is the whole thing. And we already have the whole thing up here on line 45. So what we want is we want any submatches. Now if there's no submatches, this will return just an empty array, which is fine. So we want to say for I equals 0, I is less than count, and then we're going to increment that I plus equals 1, put a space in there, plus equals 1, and let's see what we get. So we're going to say match I. We're gonna display that. Let's see what that gives us. I'm pretty sure this is what we want. So let's save the changes, and we'll run this on the on that single paragraph. So let's go back to FrameMaker. Let's run it, and let's see. We got an error on line 58. So we'll go to line 59, and oh, we missed a I missed a semicolon. Save the changes. Go back and let's run it. Yeah, there's table, and there's cleaner, and then there's the whole match. So what we want to do is we want to actually add that. We want to create an array. So we want to call this, and we can call this matches, because we're inside here. This will be isolated from the outer function. So matches will be an array. And for clarity, let's call this submatches. It doesn't matter because it's going to end up in a submatches object here, but let's just be consistent. So let's copy that, paste, paste. And then what we'll do is we'll say submatches push, and we'll push the value on there. So we'll push, and then we're going to return that to the calling. So we're going to say return submatches. Now the way we can test this is we will test the submatches array. So let's test it. So we're clicked in here, we click run, and we have a syntax error on line 66. Let's see what that is. 66. So we might have curly braces that don't match. Let's just check and see. Oh, I see. We have a period instead of a semicolon. Okay, that's easy enough. So let's go back here and run it. And so now we get a two-member array, and that gives us our two submatches. And so that's what we'll need that in later scripts. Now if we change our regular expression and we take out the capturing groups, that will simply just be an empty array. So we can test that to say, hey, do we have any capturing groups that we need to deal with? So if we go back here and run this, that just returns an empty array. We're not getting any submatches, but that's okay, because if we need them, we'll have them. If we don't need them, we can just ignore them. Now it's going to match once for every occurrence of table cleaner in here.